What's up, champions? Welcome to another video. In this video I want to show you an exercise that's helped me the most with developing amazing protraction strength. So if you're obsessed with planche, if you are struggling with handstand push-ups, so you tend to open up here, you want to maintain better protraction, then this is the exercise you need to do and kind of master, because this is something that I'm really obsessed with. So when some of my students in the mentorship program do this one, I'm always like, the hips a little lower, this a little bit here, more rotation here in the elbow. So it's always a lot of details on this one. But if you want to master the planche, if you want your planche to look good, you want that good protraction strength, then this is an exercise you need to master. So it's basically something that everybody's familiar with. It's the pseudo planche push-up, but it's done in a specific way. So with maximum protraction all throughout the movement and with specific elbow position. So that's actually the more important detail that I want to show you in today's video. So this is something that if you do this one, your protraction strength will go up. It will be easier to maintain that hollow position with the handstand push-up, with the pike push-up, and with the planche training as well, whichever level you're currently on. But hopefully you can do this one, and if it's a bit too difficult, you can always lean less forward. So yeah, that's it right now. Let's go to the form, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe because there's a lot of good stuff coming. So yeah, let's begin with the pseudo planche push-up. Boom. So this is the proper technique. We want maximum protraction, but we don't want too much flexion in the spine. So don't want you to do this one. I see a lot of the times when somebody tries to maintain protraction, they don't maintain just protraction, but they simply bend like this. Not the same thing. So you want to keep the hips in line and just protract as much as you can. Right here, this is the position. And obviously depression. Here, if you can, try to externally rotate a little bit the shoulder, because then the elbow pits are going to be facing forward. So this is kind of the optimal position for the planche, and then also better transfer to supinated planche and Maltese and so on and so forth. But basically, we want to lean forward and not too much. I don't like too much lean right away, because then often people tend to go with the elbows in variation, which is basically looking like this. So going elbows in. And then it's also fairly easy to hold that bottom position. But if you go elbows out, so not touching the body, then you really feel the serratus anterior. It's much more difficult move to perform. And overall, that's the proper position for the planche push-up, basically, also later on. So from here, not going elbows in, but you want to go elbows out, clear from the body. And you see maximum protraction. So not losing protraction. Arguably, like there are some videos that I've seen out there who say that the proper hollow body push-up would be like this, and then you lose and retract and then re-engage and protract. This is fairly easy to do. Everybody basically can do that, because just maintaining a hollow position, a push-up support position, it's fairly easy. But moving through the range of motion, maintaining that protraction, that's the difficult part. And that's why serratus anterior works a lot in the pseudo planche push-up if you do it in a protracted position. So not letting the shoulders go backwards, but actually maintaining that hollow position. And you're also going to feel your deltoid a lot more. But basically, maybe here you can see the elbow position. So I don't want to go, let's just keep it like this. I don't want to go from here. I want to just go in, and usually also lean on the body. And it's not a very comfortable position for the shoulder as well. I want to stay with the elbows clear from the body. So looks like this. And depression, obviously. And here, really maintaining that protracted position through the range of motion, that's very difficult. And that's a phenomenal exercise to improve your protraction. Work it 5 sets of 5 reps. It's plenty on pseudo planche push-ups. And you'll be surprised how little forward you need to lean to make the exercise challenging if you do it correctly. So with elbows in, you saw me before, I can hold the bottom position with elbows clear from the body. Can't hold the bottom position with feet off the floor. So huge difference. So really make sure to go with the elbows out, and here just try to remain a nice protracted position. Also, to maintain the protraction a little bit easier, try to squeeze the parallettes or the floor basically. So that way you're going to engage the chest a little bit more, and it's going to be easier to maintain protraction. So basically kind of like pulling together. So let's also show it without the parallettes. So Hand placement a little bit outwards, lean forward, not too much. Again, I don't want you to go right, oh, let's go here, and then you try to go, ugh. Once you go elbows out, incredibly more difficult. So make sure that all 5 reps are done on the similar level regarding difficulty. So starting here, hips low, not like this. Also in here, make sure not just bending the arms, but make sure that you're lowering the hips all the way down like this. Elbows out, press back up. Really fight for protraction. And keep the hips down. Also very, very tricky. A lot of people will be stuck right here. Lower the hips down, but still keep the elbows out. Incredibly challenging to perform, but very beneficial for planche development. So that's about it for the technique. Make sure to go full range of motion. And if you're training for planche, always 2-second pause on top. So make sure not just wrapping, but it's the straight arm position that's usually difficult, especially with a lot of lean. So make sure to spend those 2 seconds in the top position. So always 21, 22, make sure you have a good protraction. So fight for losing, don't lose retraction, try to keep it here. Full range of motion, back up. Really squeezing your glutes and also squeezing your abs. You should definitely feel your abs on this one if you do it correctly. But that's basically the technique for the pseudo planche push-up. Boom. Alright, so that is the pseudo planche push-up. I would usually do it as kind of the second or the third exercise in my training, but if you're not so advanced, you can also do it as the primary exercise, going for about 5 sets of 5 or 6 sets of 4 with 2-second pause in the top. Make sure to really maintain that depression throughout the movement. So if you're naturally gifted for that retraction, it might be a bit tricky to protract and depress, but make sure not to sacrifice that shoulder depression. So make sure not to do push-ups like this, but really make sure you maintain that depression. So you want to be here. So just practicing the movement like this, I usually would explain it to my students, just like stand like this, depression, protract, like somebody's pulling your arms like this, but down here. And then just try to move through this range of motion without changing the scapular position. So just doing this will give you a good idea of what the movement is all about, and you can try it on the floor with a suitable progression. Whew. So yeah, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something new. Make sure to put in time, implement these tips that I've shown you, and you'll have amazing results with your training. If you want some amazing routines, then simply click the link below the video description and check out some of my tutorials. So if you'd like routines to follow from week to week and simply enjoy while developing your body and becoming stronger and more flexible, then yeah, just click the link and I'll see you guys out there. Thank you so much for your time. Boom.